I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the At Random Podcast. I am your host of this evening. My name is Andy, and I'm joined by the very talented in his pants co-host Alex.
What's happening, Andy?
Andy,
you good?
Am I French today? Am I gonna be French?
Yeah, you are now. You're
Alright.
French today. Because I'm gonna fucking destroy you with my story today.
yeah,
The French
You
get
got a
wrecked
pretty
in
good
this
one.
story.
By the way, I wanted to tell you a story about a Florida guy. You know how we love Florida guys on this podcast?
I mean, who doesn't love Florida
I
guys?
found an amazing fucking thing coming straight from February 10th, 2001. There's the Florida musician, and he says the best way to honor the man who introduced him to heavy metal was to take his carcass and make a guitar out of him.
Oh, yeah, I saw that,
He
actually.
turned his uncle's skeleton into his guitar. This is Florida musician Midnight Prince is his name. He imported his uncle's medically prepared skeleton from Greece and turned it into a fucking guitar.
Yeah, did you hear, like, the full story? Apparently, like, the uncle died in a car crash, like, 20 years ago.
Check
yeah,
that
it's
guy
fucking
out.
cool.
That is
Yeah, it's
fucking
super
metal,
cool.
right?
Yeah. Like, his uncle died in a car crash 20 years ago and then donated his body to science. So then his skeleton was being used in a classroom for, like, 20 years.
sciencey than metal, bro?
But then the school was like, we don't need this old man corpse and like
Oh, yeah.
anymore. So he's like, well, I'll take it back, and then he made an electric guitar out of it. Like, I mean,
I bet
why
you,
not?
I bet you so much that the guy didn't even have anything to do with introducing him
No.
to metal, quote unquote. He just saw
wanted
an
a fucking
opportunity
bone
in a
guitar.
skeleton. Yeah, he was
exactly,
like,
skeleton
yeah.
guitar.
all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to talk about today? 2 episodes ago, I say 2 because, actually 1.5, I would say. I mean,
Yep.
shoving a pipe up a dragon's ass or up a
It
creature's
was
ass.
a monster. Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of monster.
And then you ate its ass or something.
I what?
Didn't you eat its ass as well at one point? Or
No,
no, you re-rolled.
yeah, but that
Yeah.
would be my go-to move if I was fighting a monster, is eating an
Yeah, of
ass.
course.
I mean, how else are you gonna tame it, right?
It's true.
Well, two episodes ago, we introduced you guys to Darina Harvey from the Darina Harvey band with the lovely interview we did, and she I mean, that was a
was
solid
great.
ass chick. She was awesome. She
Yeah,
was
she was
actually
awesome.
very fun to have on the show.
Very talented as well.
Oh yeah. But we wondered what we could do to still do our own thing while we had that interview going, and we actually decided before we did the interview that we were gonna connect this to a sort of second parter by talking to you guys about the most famous pirates, because like I said it, I called it 2021 is the year of the sea shanty, and you can't go into that year without knowing your pirate shit. So
Would you go as far as to say that you're the captain now of this 2021 sea shanty year?
do you want me to say the Phillips line? I am the
Yeah, I
captain
really
now.
do.
Yeah, you just want to hear me do a black guy's accent. I
Yeah,
shouldn't say
pretend
black
to
guys,
be-
right?
Pretend to be
African American guy's accent. Now, actually, he wasn't African American. What was he? Somalian?
He's African. Yeah, he's Somalian.
Yeah. Wait, what was that like again? I can't remember what the accent was. I can do
I'm
it
not
in
gonna do it.
Chinese.
No, that's
Dude.
fine.
Heike, here, I am a captain now, Captain Philip.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
am so much more captain.
You kind of sound like a Adam Sandler trying to be Chinese.
Can I take an order, please, Captain? You have to do it when you do the accent. You gotta ask, can I take an order, please? You want some shitty chicken? Some shitty beef?
Oh, look, there's a Mongolian over there.
Yeah. Oh, no. We don't do Mongolians on this show.
No, they
We
throw
hate
corpses over walls
Yeah.
to put plague into cities.
We have to pick one race we hate. So it's from now on, it's the Mongolians. Those filthy fucking bastards.
I wonder if we've ever had a download in Mongolia. I highly doubt it. Let's have a look.
Probably. I'd be surprised if they even have signals over there. They're probably still fucking everything they come across, like Genghis Khan. He's like, and every 10 people, there's one offspring of Genghis Khan or something like that.
Something like that.
I mean,
right?
the guy fucked a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was. If you're gonna rape and pillage, do it like him.
Yeah,
he did it right.
He did it.
Yeah, no
right.
Mongolians.
No Mongolians?
Well, sorry, I'm pretty sure we're safe to say, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck you, Mongolia. Next week, we're going to be swarmed with angry Mongolian.
Hey, it's extra downloads, though.
Now I got to learn the Mongolian accent to make fun of him. God damn it. This is just heavy work. Well, at any rate, let's cut the racism.
Yep.
for a little bit.
Yep, probably a good idea.
And talk about pirates like we said we would.
Yeah, which has racism in it in another way.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I came across some of that myself, and I was like, sort of like, oh, you know, it's one thing to make a joke, but like,
yeah. Look, the pirate I'm going to talk about, let's just say he dabbled in the slavery.
Yeah. But all right, let's get into that, Alex. I asked you. Normally, we were gonna do Alex to do the worst human male pirate in history, and then we're gonna have Ali to talk about the worst female pirate. And when I say worst, I mean like the most horrible of them all, like not the bad ones, but like
the most badass,
good at being bad, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Ali was going to take the female perspective, which was because there's been some famous female pirates out there. And then I was going to do the paranormal side of it. Coming full circle in entirety. But unfortunately, Ali is not here with us this week. She even told us she refused to listen into this episode while we record because she genuinely, and I quote her, she hates you with all her guts. And if she would, she wouldn't pick a random baby to sacrifice. She would pick yours. That is, I'm not paraphrasing, quote unquote. That's what she said.
She did. Do you know what she's doing instead?
Masturbating?
She's sitting on the floor doing a puzzle of Yennefer from The Witcher.
Oh, God. It's just, this woman.
I know.
She does not give a shit. And then she comes on here and has the audacity to silence my voice.
There won't be any silencing today.
Ah, great. Cunt!
Let's do
All right,
it.
well, let's get into it.
All right. But so how this is going to work, Andy and I will both present, I guess, is a bit not like usually. Usually we just, one of us does the episode. But this time we're going to share the load.
Yeah.
As Samwise said to Frodo. All right. So the pirate I'm going to talk about is a man who is, I'm going to say right now, a legend.
Yeah.
He was a very impressive man. He's called Henry Avery.
Yeah.
Also known as Jack Avery or John Avery.
Avery, the Averys. How does that name come familiar? Was there an Avery in the Pirates of the Caribbean?
I think so. That makes a lot of sense because we'll get there very shortly.
All right, cool.
He was born on the 20th of August in 1659. They don't know when he died because he literally vanished after committing the biggest pirate heist ever in the history of mankind.
Jesus.
Still to this day. Like if you equate for inflation.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. That's the climax of this guy's story.
Mm-hmm.
So he was an English pirate who operated in the Atlantic and Indian Oceans during the mid 1690s.
Yeah.
He had several aliases, including Benjamin Bridgman and Long Ben, is how his crewmates and associates on his ships knew him. He's called Long Ben. Assume he has a big dick.
Yeah, this is basically what I was going to say. Mostly he was the only pirate out there with only one leg, but refused to walk on wood. He just walked on the tip of his dick.
Well, he walked on another type of wood.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Got him. He is often dubbed the Arch Pirate or the King of Pirates. He is often referred to. He is infamous for being one of the few captains to have ever escaped with his loot without either being killed or arrested. He had never got caught by any authorities, ever. Which is pretty crazy when you find out what he did. He was, like I said, he's also known as being the perpetrator of the most profitable act of piracy ever in the history. Still to this day, no one has pulled off a greater heist than this man. Some 320-something years ago.
Jesus.
He's pirate. This is the interesting thing, though. So you know how he's called the King of Pirates, right?
Yeah.
How long do you think his career in piracy was? Like, someone King of Pirates, you'd think it'd be a pretty long career, right?
I guess it would be like 15 years, something like that, because people didn't live that long back then, did they?
He was a pirate for 2.
What?
For 2 years, he was a pirate, and he is called the King of Pirates.
Jesus Christ, he's got to do something right then.
Oh, he did something right. And in those 2 years, he managed to capture the entire public's imagination and inspired them to take up piracy and sort of revolt against the establishment.
Against the bourgeoisie.
Exactly, because he was a man born into the lower class. So that's why they really looked up to him. He wasn't a highborn that just rebelled. Yeah. He made it, he made something of himself.
He was in his day, he was the Robin Hood instead of, not the Robin Hood. Which one was it again that stole from the rich and gave to the poor?
Yeah, that's Robin Hood, yeah. He is kind of referred to as a bit of a Robin Hood type figure.
Wait, did he give to the poor or just...
No, I think they just see him as that. Well, I guess if you consider that the other pirates that he also helped get rich, they were probably poor and helped them rebel.
Yeah. And probably his crew wasn't too upper class as well.
No, they definitely weren't. But he actually started his life as a Navy sailor, like most pirates usually did at the time, right? So he was in the British Royal Navy from a pretty young age, probably a teenager, I would guess. It's believed that he was serving for the English when they were bombarding Algiers in 1671, and at one point, he kind of seemed to go in and out of the Navy. He'd serve a few years, and he went and did some buccaneering, which is almost like mercenary work in the Caribbean for a few years. Then he went back to the Navy. He was in a bunch of campaigns against the French, because the English, the Saxons, I guess the Germans at the time, the Spanish, they all hated, I think it was King Louis XIV was expanding France, so he was on boats destroying all the French in the French part of the Caribbean and stuff.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything personal. It was just his first name was Louis, and everybody was just like, nah,
exactly.
Not
fuck
having
this
it.
guy.
Yeah,
fuck this guy. Get a
probably
new name
Mongolian, if you ask me.
It probably was, to be honest, yeah. So, in March of 1689, he's fighting for England against the French on a bunch of different ships. At this point, he was what they call a midshipman, which is the lowest officer rank. Okay. It's he started as a bum on deck, and he's making his way up through the ranks. By July of that year, he got promoted to master's mate, because he was which is he would help the master of the ship, basically.
I've been a master's mate for a weekend as well.
Oh, did you get to touch the gimp?
No.
Damn, or were you the gimp?
No. It was just a lot of cocaine, is basically what it was.
Oh, shit. Sounds like a good weekend.
Fun. Blow it up my ass again.
Whee, nice. He got promoted to master's mate because he was in a bunch of battles in that few month period, and he was just wrecking the French. They were destroying them, so they kept promoting him. Yeah. Then he left the Navy in about 1690 to... right. He left... You remember what I said before about slavery? Yeah. He decided, fuck the Navy. I'm going to go be a slaver.
Oh, well, that's... yeah.
He quit the Navy.
A choice, I guess.
I guess you could argue, because like I said, he had 2 years of piracy, but I could see an argument where this could be almost piracy, because
Yeah.
at the time there was only one company, I think what they called the Royal African Company, was the only company for all of England that was allowed to trade slaves.
Okay.
So to like sell slaves in England at the time, you had to have a license, and to have a license, you had to be part of this company.
Yeah.
But of course, Henry Every was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
So he was illegally slaving.
Yeah.
And what he would do is he would often fly like the friendly British colors, like, you know, flags and stuff, and then invite slavers onto his ship,
Yeah.
where he would then capture the slavers, take their slaves, and then lock the slavers in with the slaves in his hold, and then basically
So
like,
the slavers would become slaves?
yeah, and then he would sell them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like, he would trick them with the British Navy colors, so they thought he was friendly. He'd invite them on the boat, and then he'd just fucking
Jesus.
turn the tables on him.
That's actually like a smart business move. Like, you're getting rid of the competition, and you're...
So he became notorious to the English for a while there.
Yeah.
Because that company kept complaining that this Henry Every, or this like Long Ben guy, kept taking our slaves.
Yeah.
So he was pretty good at that for a while. And then for some reason in 1693, so he was a slaver for like 3 years, and then I don't know, he got tired of that because he's too good at that. So then...
But you know, it's weird to me though. Like, I keep forgetting that, like, slavers were legitimate fucking business. Because of our mindset right now, like it's like it should have been illegal from the start, and so you look at it like it should have been illegal. It's hard for me to comprehend the fact that there were people who were legally sold.
Yep.
Like I cannot wrap my imagination around the idea of legally owning another human being. Like it's so strange to me that was like a normal fact of life. Like how was this ever?
And I think in this case it's even weirder because he was illegally making you be able to own somebody.
Yeah, but I'd imagine the dumbasses that then bought the slaves, like the masters and the slave owners and all that shit. Like, those assholes didn't give a shit about paperwork, because clearly they didn't give a shit about a human person. So how would they give a shit about paperwork? So I get why they were able to sell those people, even if they were like brought in illegally without paperwork. Like, I get that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to comprehend.
It really is.
This was some part of life. Like, this was normal at one point.
Oh yeah, this was just absolutely normal. And like I said, he just kind of like, oh, I'm sick of the Navy. I'm going to go be a slaver for a few years. So he's like, now I'm sick of slavery. So then in 1693, after a few years of slavery, he joins this thing called the Spanish Expedition Shipping Company, which was like started by the British government. It was another like anti-French thing. They were basically like a private military that was like destroying French ships, essentially.
Yeah.
And because of his former service and his renown, they like singled him out as like, oh, hey, come join us. Like, we want you to serve on our ships.
Yeah.
And then this is basically where he starts becoming a pirate.
Okay.
So they set off in like August of 1693 after a few months. This is also important at this point. Like, this company, they had agreed to pay like a fixed wage, like a monthly salary to all the sailors that they would get paid once, like every 6 months, they get 6 months worth of salary.
Okay.
And that's important because that leads to an eventual mutiny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they take off from England and they're supposed to go to Spain for a trip that was supposed to take 2 weeks. Somehow it took 5 months.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Then when they finally got to a place called, I think it's Corunna in Spain. It's definitely not pronounced that way, but I'm calling it that.
Yeah.
The paperwork hadn't arrived, so they were there like technically illegally. So then they were stuck in port and they couldn't work. They couldn't leave, they couldn't get on the boat and leave. They were trapped.
Yeah.
From August of 63 until May 1st in 94. Sorry, 93 to 94. They were trapped for 8 months in port.
Jesus
because the paperwork
Christ.
just never arrived. So, of course, the company is like, well, we're not going to pay you. Because, you're not working. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, see, this is why communism works and bureaucracy doesn't. I mean...
Yeah, at least in Soviet Russia, you ain't getting stuck in port for 8 months.
Yeah, no. You'll get killed or released at one point.
Exactly. Well, you would probably just be killed for not being productive and contributing to society. But that's fair. So they, during this time, the sailors kept petitioning the captain to pay them. Because, most of the sailors, they would send money back to their families because their wives, usually didn't work or whatever. They had kids and stuff. It kept getting denied because if they had ever approved it and given the money, obviously the sailors probably would have just fucked off, bought a ship back and gone back to England.
Yeah.
So they kept denying him. So then on May 1st, 1694, the ships almost finally got the paperwork sorted and they're getting ready to leave. So then the sailors threatened to strike if they weren't paid. They're like, we just won't go on board if you don't pay us what we're owed.
No. So
the captain again denied them. But then an admiral for that company was called Don Arturo O'Byrne. Okay. He saw that it was really serious, so he went to ask England for more money to pay these guys.
Yeah.
But then 2 days after requesting that, he got into an argument with a few of the sailors. So then the sailors said fuck this, we've had enough, and started plotting a mutiny for the ship. So they went around, there's a bunch of other ships in port, for the same company. I think there was 4 of them in total.
Okay.
So they went around and Henry Avery was one of the guys going around to other ships hey, come help us. We're gonna, we're the captain now.
Yeah.
It's our ship. Fuck these guys. So then one night they snuck on board and without any bloodshed, they just took the ship and sailed out of port and committed mutiny against the captain.
Did they leave the captain there?
The captain was he was on board, but he was bedridden because he was sick.
Oh, okay.
So, but they were nice. They offered. They said to him, "You can either join us and we'll let you captain the ship, or we'll drop you off at another port." So, they didn't kill him. They just dropped him. He said, "Fuck you guys."
If he was allowed to captain the ship, then isn't he allowed to tell them where they should be going?
Yeah, but I guess he feared they would kill him. And they just
said no.
Yeah, he was just nah, drop me off at So they dropped him at some other port and took control of the ship. And they elected Henry Avery to lead them because, like I said before, he was a low-born man.
Yeah.
So they thought that he had experience and he was low-born, so the other sailors thought he would probably have their best interest at heart because he's more like them. He's not a rich guy that's been rebellious.
And so the story of the pirating begins?
Yep.
Oh,
so the
sweet.
piracy begins.
That's actually kind of cool how he got there in the first place.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And now we get to the best part. So there was it's called the Raid of Zhang Jie Xiao.
Okay.
It was a bunch of Indian or Mughals, from India, the subcontinent, were traveling to Mecca for the annual, religious festivities over there.
Just kissing cows' asses and shit like that.
Yeah, with the world's largest loot at the time on board. Because they bring jewels and gold and silver.
Yeah. They give
They had an estimated, or they filed an insurance claim, after they got robbed, for £600,000 at the time.
Okay.
That's 90 million pounds today.
Jesus Christ.
And they caught wind of, they were going past this island, so Avery got together with a couple other ship captains and went, hey, let's stake out this area for a little while, because we know that a bunch of these ships are going to come through, and we're going to take their loot. And I think there was something on these ships, it was 25 ships or something, versus 3 pirate ships.
Jesus Christ,
and they wrecked them. They took every last bit of gold.
But these were smaller ships then. These mustn't have had cannons and shit like that.
Yeah, no, I think they would just
because
for
at this
passengers.
point, whatever it is sailing is a genuine fucking war ready. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Avery's one was war. They took a ship that they used to battle the French, so they had cannons and stuff. But I think these ones, probably most were a merchant ship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they had much firepower, so the pirates just wrecked them, took all the loot. Then, not only that, Avery, then tricked one of the other pirate captains into trusting him with their loot, and then said, "Oh, we'll split it later."
God.
And then he and his crew just vanished.
Yeah, there's no honor amongst thieves.
No,
I mean,
exactly.
the
With
good old
90
phrase.
in modern day money, 90 million pounds worth of loot on board.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, there was something like 500,000 gold and
How
silver
did they get
coins.
away? Like, how do you go from Did he just say, "I gotta stop by my mother-in-law real quick. I'll come back the next day," and then just kept sailing?
I don't know. Apparently, he was a very charming man and really good with words.
He must have been. I mean, you know, Long Bert or whatever it was.
Yep.
Maybe he did some dick persuasion.
Maybe. And actually, I do have a quick amendment to what I said. Estimates potentially for the value of the loot could be as high as $400 million in modern money.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he was smart. Not only then when they took the money, because most of the coins were, I think, Arabic and Indian coins. So they weren't that useful in the Caribbean and in Europe, right? So what they did instead is he told his sailors, like, look, trust me. He went and he exchanged those coins instead for slaves. Because he could sell slaves anywhere around the world and no one's going to know where the money came from.
Oh,
so they all got their own
holy
slaves
shit, that's
and they all got money.
Fucking smart.
Yeah, so they kept the jewels and stuff. He got the coins, bought slaves, and then after this, he vanished. No one knows what happened to him. They never caught
with that
him.
kind of money, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
Did
There's
they ever
rumors-
find anybody off his ship? Like all his
a couple
crewmates
people
were.
did.
They did?
They caught a couple guys, but not most of them. Just vanished. They're just. And there was 94 crew members on his ship by the end. Like, a pretty big fucking crew.
So it was a total of 90 million.
At least 90 million pounds, but potentially up to like 400 million.
Potentially every pirate had like 5 million in their pocket by the end of this.
I think they worked out the average pirate. Obviously, he got most of it because he was the captain, but I think every pirate got at least the equivalent of like $100,000, which
Jesus.
like back then was
for
like
them was
you wouldn't make in your entire life 100,000.
Yeah,
or like two lifetimes.
Fucking hell, man! Jesus Christ!
So he just traded slaves for the rest of his life. There's rumors that maybe he went back to England and just lived out his days as a wealthy old man with a different name.
Yeah,
or that he lived in a tropical island somewhere in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
No one knows. But he pulled off the biggest act. And then since then, he's inspired a lot of, this act. Oh, yeah, he was also, after this, the first ever worldwide wanted man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everyone
that is
in the
an
whole
awesome
world,
title to have.
Yeah. They put out a bounty and everything on him. He was world famous at the time.
Jesus, that's awesome. That is, well, there you go.
Captain Long Ben.
Long Ben, yeah, that one.
Yep.
Well, normally this is the point where Ali would present her female pilot, but since we're somewhat lacking in this area, I quickly looked up five of the worst pirates in history. So actually, the most terrifying pirates in history, and of course, peaking at number 1 is Blackbeard. And he's easily the most famous. He was a buccaneer, by the way. But he's easily the most famous buccaneer on the list and possibly the most terrifying pirate of all time. And Blackbeard had a reputation of horrific magnitude in his day. Now, in fact, it wasn't just the size of his reputation that was scary, but the content too. He was rumored to be involved in voodoo and the black arts, as well as having a penchant for cruelty. And boy, did he know how to market this reputation. Because if anything, Blackbeard was thriving off of his reputation and the shit that was told about him. Because if there's one thing that was very, like, throughout pirate history, that is a very heavy thing that's deeply nestled into that, what do you call it? Into that culture. Yeah, is the tall tales. And Blackbeard knew how to manage that and knew how to push himself forward. He would board a ship in a cloud of smoke created by lit fuses in his beard. Now, with daggers and knives and guns strapped to his chest, there were few that would stand against the legend and might of Blackbeard.
Imagine how nuts you got to be.
He was a showman, that guy.
Yeah, I'm going to put gunpowder in my beard and just like run on your ship and light it.
Yeah, just run on your ship and have a little a flair for the dramatic. Just jump on a ship and go like, I will commandeer your ship. That's how you do it. That's how you become a pirate. Just sing a lot and put your beard on fire. And that'll... Now, next one on the list is the one I think Ali would have been talking about. Because the next one on the list is Zhang Jie Xiao.
Oh, I've heard of her.
She was far from being a lady. She was ruthless, efficient, and the other conviction of Zhang Jie Xiao made her one of the most feared and successful and terrifying pirates of her day. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most famous pirates known to man was a lady, a woman.
She was brutal, though.
Yeah, she was. I mean, are you surprised?
No, not really.
Yeah. But, like, as far as masterminding goes, like, she was known for her intelligence. And, like, she was cunning. And a general love of punitive decapitation was also one of her, like, her more famous ways of being. She enjoyed huge power and influence. And it wasn't surprising since she ruled the largest fleet amongst her how do you call it? Like adversaries? Like the whole fucking shebang?
Amongst your peers, I guess.
Yeah. The Red Flag Fleet, it was called. And it was 1,500 ships strong.
Jesus Christ.
And it actually faced down the Chinese, Portuguese, and British navies successfully.
It's like an
She was so good
armada.
at her job. She was able to retire with all her plunder and pension at the age of 35.
Shit, I got 5 years left.
Yeah.
I better get pirating.
All right, next on the list is Black Bart, a regular terror for the officers and captains on board the ships he captured. Black Bart started life as a hand on a slaving vessel and knew the plight and suffering of the lower ranks. So when he switched occupations to piracy, he never forgot what it was like to be at the bottom of the ship's hierarchy. He was known to ask his crew how their superiors were treating them, and famous for slicing and dicing offenders in front of their victims.
Jesus.
Not a man to mess with, a terrifying pirate by anybody's standards.
Look, at least he's a pirate with morals, I guess. He had this is my ethics. This is the rules.
Yeah.
You don't like it, I'll cut you. He's like a Peaky Blinder, basically.
You did sound a little bit like Krog there from the Thor movie. Ragnarok? Yeah, Thor Ragnarok.
I think I saw that one.
You remember the stone guy from, like, the stone alien from Australia? With the Australian accent?
No.
All right, well, just look it up after the show. You did sound a little bit like them when you said that. And by the way, you should learn that accent for the show, because that character is by far the funniest one in Marvel history. Next pirate, Ned Lowe. He's an English criminal who took to the sea. Ned Lowe was not the most successful pirate in his day, though he did well enough, but he was perhaps the most feared due to his excessive cruelty and love of torture. This did not extend only to his enemies. He was reported to have set fire to an unwanted ship with a cook on board for amusement, saying that the cook was a greasy fellow. He was, however, most famous for his treatment of enemy captains. He once cut an enemy's lip off because he threw treasure into the sea. Lowe then proceeded to cook and make him eat his lips before massacring
I like this guy.
before massacring the entire crew.
Oh, this is like me playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
except he was successful in the things he did, Alex. You fumbled around
But
let's not forget the fucking...
I got us in situations though that were worthwhile.
I know, but let's not forget the the ox cum incident in the bar. Yeah,
Hey,
when
look,
you
it
were
was
drenched in cum.
My guy was low on protein. He needed a boost.
Well, he got it. All right.
If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to the Dungeons and Dragons D&D episodes.
Yeah. Or just generally fuck off and never come back. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, especially if you're Mongolian.
yeah. Fuck you, Mongolia. Number 5, Francois L'Olonnais. Francois L'Olonnais was a French pirate, if you did not guess by his name, who harbored an intense hatred of the Spanish and was thus feared by all Spanish crew in his day. He was known for using torture and cruelty to get information he required from enemy crews. In general, this information was the routes of the Spanish Navy so that he might avoid them. So if he can get out of their way, he would have. But it was also sometimes the instigator to push him onto that route. Now, in fact, it's rumored that he had once ate the beating heart of a Spanish captain before killing all the crew but one. This poor survival was told to relay the message that never again would any Spaniard have mercy from L'Olonnais. Of course, karma caught up with him, and he reputedly ended his days in the belly of a cannibal. Just another terrifying pirate, I guess.
Delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are the most terrifying pirates that we know to date.
Yeah.
But there's a little story out there. You probably already know what story I'm going to talk about.
Harry Potter.
Of course, Harry Potter. Now, Harry Potter lived under a closet.
Harry Potter. And the cursed black pearl, or whatever the curse of the black pearl.
Yeah, the black dildo.
Now that's a fucking mashup I'd like to see.
that would actually, pirates and magic would go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, just Avada Kedabraing everything.
Yeah, just like imagine one standing on top of like the what's it called? Like the thing that looks over sea on top of the boat.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, just Avada Kedavraing just into the sky, into the heavens. I mean, that would be awesome.
Would be pretty cool.
Anyway, no, but of course I'm talking about the flying fucking Dutchman. I mean.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's no more legendary ghost ship out there, but I don't know if our listeners, like everybody knows the Flying Dutchman, but do you know its history?
It's like something I'm pretty sure I have read before, but a while ago. So
yeah, well,
let me know.
Basically, the Flying Dutchman is a legendary ghost ship which was said to never be able to make port. Doomed to sail the oceans forever. The myth of it, somewhere around the 17th century golden age of the Dutch East India Company, or the VOC. So it extended from around there somewhere. But it was a ship who once found himself, or at least the captain of that ship, found himself struggling to round the Cape of Good Hope, which is in Africa, South Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, it's probably the bottom of...
Yeah, it's like the tippity top thing. Yeah. This was during a ferocious storm, and he swore that he would succeed even if he had to sail until Judgment Day. Now, the devil heard his oath and took him up on it. The Dutchman was condemned to stay at sea forever. His only hope for salvation was to find a woman who loved him enough to declare herself faithful to the Dutchman for life, no matter what. And to top it off, he could only stop sailing once every 7 years to go ashore and search for that one true love. Now, there is an opera by Wagner that tells the story of the Dutchman, and actually the Dutchman story is told in that opera 3 times. It's like musically in the overture, poetically in the famous passage called Senta's Ballad, and dramatically in the stage action as a whole. Now, I did take a little look into Senta's Ballad, and it actually tells the story perfectly. So here it goes. Senta's Ballad. Yo ho hoo, yo ho hoo, ho ho hoo, yo hoo. I mean, if that's not an opera you already want to listen to.
It's just how Dutch people say hello, I guess.
No, it's not. We say yo. Actually, that's what we say, just yo. Have you met the ship at sea with blood-red sails and black masts? On the high deck, the pale man, the master of the ship, keeps endless watch. Hoo, how the wind howls, yo-ho-hey. Hoo, how the wind is rigging, yo-ho-hey. Hoo, like an arrow he flies, without aim, without rest, without peace. But redemption may one day come to the pale man, if he but find a woman on earth, true unto death. Oh, when will you find her, one mariner? Pray to heaven that soon a woman will stay true to him. In bitter gale and raging storm, he once tried to round the cape. He cursed in mad fury and swore, never will I give up. Who and Satan heard it? Yo-ho-hey. Who took him at his word? Yo-ho-hey. Who and damned he now roams, the sea without rest or peace. But the poor man may still find salvation on earth, for an angel of God showed him how one day he might be redeemed. Ah, one mariner, could you but find it, pray to heaven that soon a woman will stay true to him. At anchor every 7 years, a wife to woo he goes ashore. He wooed every 7 years, but never a true wife he found. Who hoist sails, yo-ho-hey, who weigh anchor, yo-ho-hey, who falls love, falls faith, back to sea, without rest or peace. And so that is Senta's Ballad about the Flying Dutchman. Now, following that stormy overture, we see a ship struggling to reach the port in a sheltered cove. The captain is Norwegian named Daland, who lives nearby with his daughter Santa. Not Santa, S-A-N-T-A, but S-E-N-T-A. Now, another ship appears, a gloomy-looking vessel with a black mast and a blood-red sails, which was the signature look for the Flying Dutchman. Its captain, of course, the legendary Dutchman, his latest 7-year stint is up, and the ship enters the harbor, so the Dutchman can go ashore and search for love. The two captains meet, and Daland tells the Dutchman about his daughter Santa, thinking she might be the woman he's looking for. The Dutchman offers Daland his entire fortune in return for an introduction. Daland agrees, and the two ships set sail for Daland's house. So that is somewhat what Wagner interpreted the whole shenanigans as.
Yeah.
But there's also a little different place the Flying Dutchman goes to, and that is that it's known, and a lot of pirates feared the Flying Dutchman because, one, it would bring with it an impenetrable fog once it was sailing. So whenever you saw a fog, there was a chance that the Flying Dutchman was hiding inside of it. The other part of that was that there were 2 stories that were told. And one was that the Flying Dutchman would collect souls for the devil to regain his trust and to get back his life.
Yeah.
The other part of it was, which I thought was pretty fucking sweet, was that the Flying Dutchman would only appear to you if you were already dead. So basically, the normal people would see fog, and the dead would see the Flying Dutchman in his own apparition. And so if you saw the Flying Dutchman, it was basically already too late, and the Flying Dutchman would capture your soul and take it with him to the Hell's Deep.
Damn.
So yeah, that is the story of the Flying Dutchman as in its entirety. Just a guy not being able to dock his ship safely and just making a deal with the devil.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. I've always wanted to make a deal with the devil, but I never found the right thing. I mean, if I'm going to sell my soul, I don't know what it would be for. Do you have any idea?
I'd sell it for anything because I don't believe in souls, so I'd happily sell it for anything. No. Give me a Snickers.
I do.
You can have it.
Give me a Snickers and you can have your soul.
I don't give a shit. Because then tomorrow when I'll just trade my soul for something else.
2 Snickers.
Maybe. If I'm hungry, definitely.
All right. Well, I guess that is the coolest pirate stories out there now for us to tell you guys.
I have one point. You did ask before why the name Avery sounded familiar. Do you watch Do you watch Doctor Who? The TV series?
No. It's from. Ali would be so proud of me. I remember. I know now where I remember the name Steve Avery from. It's from. That's the Grey's Anatomy.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy.
Can't say I've seen that one.
Yeah,
but anyway,
the fag inside of me is still there, whether you like it or not.
But if you're a Doctor Who fan, the episode from 2011, The Curse of the Black Spot, there's a captain called Henry Avery who is based on this guy, Henry Avery.
Oh, okay.
And also, Henry Avery features in Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, the game from the Uncharted series.
I think I play that, but I can't. Like, I still going back to Stephen Avery because he was fucking hot. That was one sexy man.
Yeah, if you say so.
I mean, I know you wouldn't go gay, but if you saw Stephen Avery, I mean, look him up, Stephen Avery.
All right, let's have a look.
Stephen Avery, Grey's Anatomy. Just take a little gander and tell me you wouldn't go gay for at least a half an hour for that guy. You can be straight again afterwards. I don't mind.
Oh,
if
that
you don't
guy.
Go gay for it. Yeah.
Oh, he looks kind of like a douche, though.
Yeah, but that's okay when he's got his back turned at you.
Fair enough. I didn't know until last year that Grey was the female doctor. I always thought it was that male doctor that people... women were all like, oh my god, that guy. I was like, that's Grey. And that Ali's just like, no, Grey is the female.
I'm a McSteamy fan.
I'm a neither fan. I'm a not that show fan.
Yeah, just Gollum and nothing else. I'm getting thumbs up from Ali. All right, well, on that note, I think that's clearly more than enough. Once Ali is agreeing with me, we gotta cut this fucking show off because that ain't
it's
normal.
Only downhill.
Yeah.
The fucking Flying Dutchman will come for you like an eternity of being Dutch ovened or something.
Well, well, sign me up. Look, we got an Instagram and we got a little tweeted bird. What's the little tweety Twitters? Twitter
is @_randompod. So @_randompod.
The Instagram is @random.podcast. This is @random.podcast. And of course, as every week we tell you, but you guys refuse to do it, you fucking dickheads. What are you, fucking Mongolians? Come on now.
Fucking Mongolians.
Just click that fucking link in the Discord, like where you're listening to it right now. Just click that fucking link. Just do it. Join the Discord server. Join us on Sunday. Watch us live. We're doing it for free. It doesn't cost you a single fucking penny.
And you get just to hear
here to entertain you.
All the shit that gets cut out. And trust me, some of it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But we just can't
some of it's,
put it out there, you know?
You know, I feel like the show itself, the stuff that we post, don't do justice enough of how pissed off we can get Ali.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, you can hear she's pissed, but when you actually see her face, when when she's not making a sound, just giving the stink eye that, we're on to something.
Ali is a very visual person.
Yes. She doesn't hide her disappointment well, or her disapproval.
Yeah, and her disdain for you if you come. So if you want Ali to look pissed at you, it'll cost you. But
Yeah.
all right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being here with us today. Hopefully next week we get our Ali back so we can piss her off a little bit and poke the hornet's nest.
I hope so.
And see what happens. All right. Okay. Next week. Bye.
Bye.